Hello, welcome to video number 56. This is about distance, and we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find distance between points. So here's our first example. We want to find the distance between those 2 points that are marked there. And what we really want when we say find the distance between them is the length of this blue line segment here. So if we can find the length of that line segment, we found the distance between the 2 points. It's just begging for us to draw a right triangle like this. So we see that in order to find the distance between those 2 points, we can find the length of the hypotenuse of this right triangle. Okay, so we're going to label the hypotenuse C. That's the distance we want to find. It's the hypotenuse. This side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can just use the Pythagorean theorem. 8 squared plus 5 squared is C squared. Okay, so that means 64 plus 25 is C squared, or C squared is 89. And if we take the square root, that means that C, which is the distance between the points, is the square root of 89. Okay, now, no perfect square is going to 89. 89 is actually a prime number, so we're done. It can't be simplified. That's the distance between those 2 points. Square root of 89. So a little bit more than 9. So it's a little bit more than 9 units from one square to one point to the other. All right, here's 2 more points. Example number 2. Find the distance. Okay, bam, draw the triangle. So that was quick. And we pretty much have to find the length of the legs. We can find the legs because we can use the grid to help us find them. We'll learn how to do it without a grid, though, very soon. Okay, on the x side, horizontally, the x values go from 1 to 9 across the bottom. So this starts at x equals 1, goes up to 9. That's a difference of 8. And going vertically here, wow, that's my 8. There it is. Going vertically, we start at 2 and we go up to 10. So that is 8 also. Okay, so it turns out that this is an isosceles triangle. How cool is that? So this is C. So to find the distance between the points, which is the length of the green segment there, we got C squared is A squared plus B squared. So that's 8 squared plus 8 squared. So C squared is 64 plus 64. And so C squared is 128. And so C is the square root of 128. Now, I just kind of notice up here, 128 is 64 times 2. 64 is a perfect square, so we can simplify this. This is the square root of 64 times the square root of 2, which is 8 times the square root of 2. Wow. So the distance we found here, right here, just by using the Pythagorean theorem, then we got a little practice in simplifying the square root. 128, 64 goes into that. That's the biggest square root, perfect square that goes into it. So we can actually simplify that quite a bit. Went from square root of 128 down to square root of 2. Okay, time for one last example. So once you kind of see how to make a triangle, this is not so bad at all. Okay, so when we have 2 points given in a grid, we can find their distance. All right, this time I'm just going to draw the segment in between them, and we'll draw in the triangle ourselves. So I'll do the best I can here. We're going to go down 4. And we're going to go to the right, I don't know how many, 7. So we went down 4. I don't have to worry about, like when we're computing slope, I don't have to worry about whether it's positive or negative. We're just computing the length of this segment. So not how we got from one point to the other, like slope. So we just can stick with positive numbers when we're doing Pythagorean theorem. So we get C squared is 4 squared plus 7 squared. So that's equal to 16 plus 49. Let me see here. That's 55, 65. Okay, so we want to know what number when we multiply it by itself, which means we square it, equals 65. That's the job of square root. So square root of 65, which is just a little tiny bit more than 8. No perfect squares going to 65. You could try, but 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, they don't go into 65. So it's simplified. That's an exact answer. If we want a decimal approximation, we can use our calculator if we want. All right, time for the general assignment. So here, I want you to find the distance between two segments here. So you're going to make two triangles. And so you can kind of count. I know it's kind of hard with a computer, but you can count how many squares we go down and how many squares we go over to get to B. And you can kind of do the same thing with C and D. So find the distance between A and B. That's number one. Number two, find the distance between C and D. Good luck.